Welcome to ConsoleLoop Weekly, where we go over the top gaming headlines of the past week. Our leading topics include The Lord of the Rings Gollum continues gaming's bad launch trend, and Alan Wake 2 is digital only. On Alan Wake's official website, they created a frequently asked questions post. In it, they revealed that the game is digital only with no plans of it coming to disc. Their reasoning behind this is it helps keep the price at $60 and the PC version at $50. They also said they didn't want to ship a disc product that has it requiring a download. This is a bummer, and it has disappointed a lot of fans, some so much so they aren't purchasing Alan Wake 2 anymore. We finally have our first look at Marvel's Spider-Man 2 gameplay with this new gameplay reveal trailer. The trailer showcased Symbiote Spider-Man's gameplay and Miles' gameplay. We also got our first look at Insomniac's version of The Lizard and Kraven the Hunter. Sadly, we still don't have a release date, but you can go check out the gameplay reveal trailer at PlayStation's official YouTube channel if you're interested. With the onslaught of canceled projects sweeping Ubisoft Studios, many have thought that the Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake could be next. Ubisoft has finally given us a new update after the project changed hands back to the creators of the original game, Ubisoft Montreal. We've learned some interesting information from this interview, such as the current state of the project. Even though it was announced back in 2020, the team at Ubisoft Montreal is still in the conception phase. That means you'll have to wait quite a few more years before you can get your hands on this classic remake. But one of the best things to come out of Ubisoft Montreal taking over the remake is that some of the developers who worked on the original game are still working at the studio, so it couldn't be in better hands. Check out the full interview for some interesting tidbits from the team working on the remake. AMD has finally revealed the Radeon RX 7600 at a price lower than rumored, coming in at $269. According to reports online, it was originally going to come out at $300, as many rumors suggested, but at the last minute they decided to lower prices to be more competitive in the market. But even at $269, the consensus online for many reviewers suggests it's still a bad purchase. While nothing amazing, these are some very solid specs for a 1080p graphics card, except for the VRAM, which is only 8GB. We really need at least 10 to 12 GB of VRAM, as more and more PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X games start making their way to PC. If you have planned to upgrade from a RX 6600, don't expect improved power efficiency, as the RX 7600 will typically use 165 watts versus the 132 watts of the previous generation. Regardless of power usage, both still sit at very acceptable levels of power efficiency. Even with inflation, $269 seems to be more than we should expect, but when Nvidia controls the market, it makes sense. Where things get awkward for AMD is the RX 6650 XT, which does trade blows and benchmarks with the RX 7600 for only $250 or less. At this point for 1080p gaming, $199 should be the price point to hit, yet inflation and crypto mining did destroy common sense in the graphics card market. Sad to say, but more and more games continue to be released in bad shape. Then the developers issue an apology, and many patches later we get what we should have had at release. The popular examples of this are No Man's Sky, that infamously released with many of the promised features not existing, Cyberpunk, that released completely broken, and a more recent example, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, that released with poor performance. You can add Lord of the Rings Gollum to the list, as it releases with poor quality, bad performance, and bugs. One thing that sets itself from the other games I mentioned is, even if it was polished, nobody would want to play it. With possibly the worst review scores ever, the developers were quick to apologize. But the apology did nothing to help with the backlash. Even before release, I saw no one excited about this game, so its reception is not a shocker. It is a bit surprising. People seem to be using this as an example of why you shouldn't pre-order, which is laughable. This was a far cry from a high quality looking game. If you couldn't tell this wasn't on the level of The Legend of Zelda, Spider-Man, or Elden Ring, I don't know what to tell you. Tell us your thoughts on bad releases in the comments. Do you think there will ever be a breaking point? Or are we doomed as unofficial playtesters? That's the end of this weekly recap. Remember to follow ConsoleLoop on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube to help us keep you in the loop.